True Water Claims, I had the pleasure, honor, and distinction of being able to meet Melinda and work with her on some of the marketing side, as well as some of the other individuals that are involved with True Water Claims. Their restoration knowledge and background is really what stemmed True Water Claims coming into fruition, because one of the biggest problems, especially being a consultant in this industry, is that I see is on the collection side. The fights that you have to have with the adjusters, the continual cash flow, the lines of credit to make payroll, which ultimately just results in loss of sleep and takes away and detracts from you being able to do what's the most important thing as a restoration company, which is run your business and provide exemplary customer service. So True Water Claims has come about to alleviate that headache for you with their extensive and expansive knowledge of the restoration industry, to be able to take that headache away from you. Because let's face it, a lot of us in restoration, we came from either the production side or the sales side. We didn't come from the accounting side. But now all of a sudden we're forced to be accountants. Now all of a sudden we're forced to be bankers. Now all of a sudden we're forced into a threshold that we don't really understand. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to the subject matter experts. We have Melinda. I know she's going to be leading. And then I apologize, the other one came up as Melinda as well. So, sir, if you could introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, Stuart Levine.
Stuart Levine. So we have Stuart and Melinda from True Water Claims, and I am going to turn the forum over to them, and I'll be here to answer any questions and kind of lead this dialogue as it moves forward.
Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. True Water Claims is a startup company, and it's really an idea that we've put into a business. Basically, we're working with the HO3 insurance type claims, residential homes. You dry out the job prior to you billing it to insurance. We take a look at it. We will offer you a buy number, and we'll pay you in 24 to 48 hours. That's pretty much the gist of the company. Are you able to scroll through the panel? We were created with partnership with contracts. We understand how hard you work, and claims are our specialty. We exist to provide fast and low cost funding for water restoration companies just like you. So it's quite simple, the process. We've kept it as simple as possible. Send us your finished unbilled homeowners claim documents through our channels. We'll take a look at it. We'll probably come back and ask you a few questions. We'll then send you a buy number for the job after it's been assessed. After that, you can either accept it or decline it. You can decline our offer, and there's no charge to that. If you do accept our offer, we will again direct deposit the payment to you within 24 to 48 hours.
So Melinda, real quick, whoever you want to put this through. So, I mean, just in jumping to the first two slides, it automatically it seems too good to be true. It seems too easy, because let's just say I'll be devil's advocate. I'm a restoration owner. I'm fighting. I may be 5 weeks out from job completion to invoice to collection. Why do you guys make this so much easier than the way that I'm doing it right now? And secondly, if you can expand a little bit, you had said, that I have the ability to not accept that. This is a case by case basis through relationship. I may take 20, decline 2, take 10, decline 1 more. I'm not under any type of contractual obligation to accept a certain percentage of these from you to continue the relationship, correct?
That is correct. And I really want to emphasize, though, we are only looking at the HO3 claims. Those are the only claims at this juncture that we're currently looking at. You can send us your finished job that you have not yet billed to insurance. We want to take a look at the dry logs. We want to look at the pictures. We need all the claim policy information, all of those types of documentation that you would submit to the insurance company. You send that to us. We're going to take a look at it. I'm sure we're going to have some questions. That's normal in any type of invoicing, especially when we're not familiar with you yet. We'll get back to you with a buy number. You can you can choose which claims you want to give to us. If you have a special relationship with a particular adjuster in your community and you know that you're going to get paid quickly, stick with what you have. That, and you have no, you can do what you want. But if you know, for example, it's going to take you a long time to work with State Farm, and you have payroll due, or you have a mortgage payment, or you have a car payment coming up, and you know that it's going to take you much longer than 48 hours to get paid on this particular claim, and you need money now, we want to be that option for you.
Right. So you're seeing, Stuart, if you could kind of expand a little bit. So you're seeing, so say for example, the HO3 claims. So I am a residentially centric restoration provider that does work a lot with the big box carriers. I'm working with State Farm, I'm working with Liberty Mutual, I'm working with Farmers, I'm working with all these guys, and it's taking me forever to get paid. You're telling me that if I accept the offer, that literally there's money deposited in my account on that job within 48 hours.
That is correct.
Yeah.
If it falls within the perimeters of, the information that obviously every claim is required to have to submit, we will provide you a figure and get those figures into your account within a day.
Okay. So, and I know I don't want to put the cart before the horse. And if I do, we'll say we can get to this in the next slide. But let's say that I take a look at this job and I say that this falls within the parameters of the industry standard residential invoice, which is $2,500, a $2,500 claim. You
Right.
look at that, is that what I'm going to get paid, or is it going to be potentially less, potentially more? How does that work?
Well, we're going to need to forgive me for saying it this way, but we all know jobs are different. We know that we're going to bring in the number of DHUs, the size of the room, how many days it's going to reach to get the actual dry standard. There's a lot of different movements and moving parts with that. So if you think that it's $2,500, we're here to make money too. We're more of, you get paid now for a certain dollar amount. Maybe I hate to give a number because everyone always has a number in their head. Mm-hmm. and that's always, that can get very, very muddled. But what you do is you send us the paperwork, we take a look at it. We're going to take a little bit, it won't be exact. If you say it's exactly 2,500, it won't be 2,500.
Right.
I can guarantee you that. It's not going to be 2,500. We're going to take what it's going to cost us to actually do the job, get paid, as well as we're here to make profit. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. We are a business as well, but we want to be fair about it. We want repeat clients. We want to be one of your partners and one of your options in business. We want repeat clients. We want loyalty, and we want you to spread the word. So of course we're here to make money, but you won't be getting that $2,500, but you'll be getting something very, very valuable.
Well, again, the power lies in the restoration provider. It's like if they don't feel like that it's worth it to agree to that, then they have the option of declining the offer and moving on and moving forward and dealing with the headache and the hassle themselves. Sure. So, I think that is a beautiful thing. This is a no contract relationship type thing that's on a case by case basis. But again, like I said, I think that the advantages far outweigh, anything else, because I don't have to be an accountant anymore. I don't have to worry about my cash flow problems. I can literally turn that over to you guys. As long as I supply you with the appropriate documentation, you guys get to figure it out. You guys get to fight the fight.
Because we represent that claim going forward. So obviously getting all the logs and all the pictures, as professional restorers and licensed adjusters, we really want to have an opportunity to kind of view it as a whole before we can provide a reasonable figure to them. And obviously we realize if we don't provide fair, reasonable costs to them, we won't get repeat clients. And that's very important to us, is that they feel they're getting a fair price in the end as well, a fair figure.
Right. And it's not like you guys just created this business with no expertise. I mean, which is kind of a segue into this slide. I mean, you guys have extensive industry knowledge. So you fought these fights for years.
All the elements required for the claim. We know all the touch points that they have a tendency to harp on. We understand the timelines. We understand a lot of procedures that are kind of specialized to us because we've been doing it for 35 years successfully, and we've been very fortunate. But yeah, we know what it's going to take to represent that claim in a positive light, and probably what its maximum value could be.
Gotcha. Fantastic. Anything
May I add a little onto it? With that expertise in the field that we've had as well, we are going to be offering a little coaching. So if we're taking a look at the pictures and the assessment, Stuart is one of our coaches, and he will be one of the people that would love to be able to talk to you about maximizing a job.
Awesome.
A lot of companies, they run a water damage, but they're not familiar with the required elements. Like a water damage is pretty much pointless unless you have a dry log. Okay, so you may have to bring some folks that there's a learning experience involved in it. Usually for the better for most companies that I've dealt with. They've been very appreciative of the little bits and pieces that they've been able to pick up on how to present this in the proper light, so it does make that negotiation process much more painless, more copacetic moving forward.
Fantastic. And, so I think they're one of the interesting things to know on this slide too. 14,000 people in the United States experience a water emergency every single day. Having worked extensively in the restoration industry myself, I was always busy with water jobs, and it did become a very convoluted mess trying to keep up with everything. Okay, well, this is, why haven't we been paid on this one? Why haven't we been paid on that one? So the fact that you guys said that I wanted to touch, I don't want to blow past that. The fact that you provide coaching, I think is a tremendous value add to, it's not just we're taking your files, here's your money, and then we leave you alone. It is, let me show you how to maximize things. Let me show you what you're missing and why you have not had the success in collections that you have had in the past, why it's been such a headache. I'm a firm believer, I operate on one principality: out care, out educate. And, it sounds like that you guys have that same mindset. Education is key to the success, no matter what you're doing, to become a subject matter expert. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. So talk a little bit about this. We provide business owners an easy option to provide business capital fast. Fast, I think, is the thing. I think the biggest problem in restoration is everybody wants your services right now. I need you right now, but then they want to take forever to pay you. That's why they don't want to reciprocate that. So let's talk a little bit about how to get that business capital fast.
You pick and choose which claims you want to give to us. That's pretty much it. Again, that you can either choose to accept our buy number or not. You have the control in all of this. That's really the key. So when some months are absolutely amazing. I've seen in this industry, sometimes around Thanksgiving and sometimes around Christmas and the holiday season, people are home, so they catch a water emergency early on. But so there's the times where you're not going to have as many clients and people calling you on the phone coming in for water restoration. However, when those times are lean and you may need a little extra working capital at that time or cash flow, you can have the option of you working with us. That's really what it's up to. And I really want to emphasize, this is up to you. You are in control of this. You're the ones handing us over which claims you want us to take a look at. You're the one making the choices with what documentation you give us. The better the documentation, the most likely the better the buy number will be, the buy offer.
Gotcha. I can expand on that. I'm consulting with a group. I'm not going to say where, but I spend a lot of time out there. And one of the things that I had seen wasn't that, I was talking specifically about that they were 5.5 weeks out, from job completion to invoice to even starting the collections process, 5.5 weeks with roughly 2.8 million in collections. And I took a look at it, and you just hit the nail on the head, Melinda, was because the job file coordinators were constantly playing Where's Waldo with documentation. So I think you hit the nail on the head that the better the documentation, the faster things can go and the better payout you can have by being thorough. So Stuart, would that be part of that coaching process?
Absolutely. Every aspect of it will coach you along. If the documentation isn't suitable, we have that discussion. We have that talk with you for the next job. It doesn't make it a game breaker. I mean, but job after job, you do have to understand we're providing you with insights that we want you to pick up and institute to the next job. It's not difficult taking pictures. What's difficult is understanding what 4 or 5 are the important pictures.
Right. And I kind of always operated on the principality, if you didn't document it, it didn't happen.
Exactly.
And I know that is the same fight that people are doing with adjusters, and whether it be at field or desk, being able to justify the work that they are doing. And, we all get wrapped up in the whirlwind. We understand that on a loss, there's lots of moving parts, but this critical component of documentation is the key to success, not only for the business, but the key to success in working with you guys too. So providing, again, that coaching component for the next job of saying, look, here's where we failed, on this part, the pictures were too close, they were too far away, you couldn't discern what they were, you didn't have enough documentation, things like that. That's where that industry experience is going to be key. I don't look at you guys as a vendor. I would look at you as a strategic partner for these businesses' success.
Especially, we're surrounded by, basically career restoration professionals that are also licensed adjusters. It's kind of a double-edged sword to the insurance company. So we're very knowledgeable in regards to how that interaction with that insurance company should take place. We're brought up into a world, though, to where all the power and all the timelines and everything stem on the insurance company. We're going to teach you and explain to you and help you understand that you are the professional in the eyes of a judge. And there's a lot more moving parts to this that allows you to, this is your job. You take control of this job. We're allowing them to come work with us, but we can give you all sorts of information that makes this a lot easier. Every job going forward, you're going to pick up something that it just dawns on you that this is a process that I can definitely work with.
I want to thank you for actually bringing that statement into fruition about, if you want to be viewed as the expert, be the expert.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is one of the situations to where, having worked in this industry, this is the one industry that I feel like that the consumer feels like that they know more than we do. And I think it's by having the type of coaching with the industry experience that you guys have, being able to bring people along, that iron sharpens iron and actually allows people to be the expert. And that's a real big differentiator when it comes to, talking with an adjuster, that he knows that you're part of the game.
More than you can understand. Okay. To go in there and you're representing your client in that positive light, versus an adjuster that realizes you're there to wait for him to tell you what needs to be done. Okay, that's a bad place to be in the world. We're that safe middle ground that you can call and talk to 24/7, and we're going to point you in the right direction, looking out for the best interest of you and your client being the homeowner. So
yeah,
wonderful experience of the little things that you will pick up just from job to job, and the staff you interact with a TWC are very knowledgeable and wonderful folks. And we've been through so many of these that we're very confident, very comfortable explaining the process, and we've had a lot of great results from it.
Well, and I think it's fantastic. Again, I don't want to harp on the same thing, but it's not that you just do, but you teach. And those two components right there are what set people up for future success. It's why they build a trust factor with you. Because I believe you can hand a person a fish and they can eat for a day, but you teach them to fish and they can eat for a lifetime, and I think that you have both of those components going in there. Whenever you're working with somebody, it'd be like, hey, they're struggling. We're going to show you how not to struggle, and we're going to take care of you by, telling you all the critical components that we need to be able to make both of us successful. And I think that that's the key to any valuable relationship that you could ever have. Anything you want to touch on this slide? I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but anything you want to touch point on this?
Well, I really want to emphasize that we are not like a bank financing where we're going to be taking over your accounts receivable. You're going to be picking and choosing which invoices you're going to be selling to us. That's it.
Okay, fantastic. So, it's, are you tired? I think the answer would be unequivocally yes. I am sick and tired of waiting for the insurance companies. In fact, I know I have dealt with a lot, both on the consulting side and as a restoration professional. There are certain carriers I don't want to deal with. They're just a nightmare every single time I've ever had to deal with them. No matter how great my documentation was, no matter how many ducks in a row I had, no matter how many daily synopsis, by ending with, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please voice them. And at the end of the day, I'm waiting to get paid. And I've done every single thing that I want to do, or that I could possibly do. Now I have the option of going, you know what, Melinda, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Here you go. So, and you look at it and it falls within the parameters of what you need to do to be able to pay it out. 48 hours later, I have the check in my box and it's your headache, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's that easy. It's that easy. And I mean, the insurance companies are huge corporations. How do you think they're building, stadiums and baseball fields and all of that? They are for-profit companies. So they're not your advocate. They're not going to be working with you. We want to work with you. We are targeting a niche market, and that's the good stuff for us. That's the exciting part of this company, and we're really looking forward to talking to a lot of people about this.
Well, I think you should change your tagline to "True Water Claims, we are gluttons for punishment." Because it is, the thing about it is that, it does alleviate the headache, the lines of credit, the cash flow problems, the loss of sleep, all these kinds of things. But I think the most important part is understanding the reason why they fight with you on everything is because they have a job to protect their loss ratio too. And it is there. So therefore, because of that, they are going to take what you are calling an estimate, which I don't believe in that term. This is an invoice for a job rendered. That is the way I have always viewed this. I'm not asking for your permission. I'm telling you this is the work that I have done. Yeah. But having that stance has caused me problems, with the adjusters, because the adjusters want to fight to minimize the claim. They want to fight to bring it down so that they can protect their loss ratio. Insurance is great until you need it. And then whenever you need it and want to use it, they don't want to pay it. So I personally, if owning a restoration company, would rather not just deal with that headache and do what I do best, which is suck water and dry buildings out and just give the headache to you. So
we're waiting on that verbal.
We're ready.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of having a relationship with TWC.
We will purchase your insurance claim upon completion of each job after it's been assessed. We have that option. We're going to go ahead and assume the risk of repayment. So if the insurance carrier says, for example, that this just is not going to get paid, I'm going to throw one little piece, unless there's fraud, unless you've done something completely fraudulent, we're going to go ahead and take the risk of repayment. There's no personal guarantees, there's no credit checks, and the beautiful part is we have the ability to direct deposit into your bank account, your business bank account. What would, if you were a restoration provider, be devil's advocate, what would be a reason you would say no? To me, it would just be out of ignorance. And I'm not using that term badly. I'm just saying that it would just be because lack of knowledge. I didn't know that you guys could make this process so easy. Well, this is a completely brand new idea and concept to the market. Something like this really hasn't been done. You've seen it in other genres, but it hasn't been done in the insurance, in this frame of insurance. So that's really where we're trying to get the word out. That's really where we're trying to let people know that we're here and we want to be their partner in business. Now they can have, most of the time, I know most guys have, 5 to 10 jobs running at the same time. Please keep in mind, you can give us 2 out of those 10. You don't need to give us all of them unless you want to. We're happy to take a look at them. But you can pick and choose what you want to show us for your job. And we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at the documentation, the dry logs, the pictures, make sure that the policy is engaged, make sure that all of those things are in check. If all those things are in check, we're going to offer you a buy number and you'll have money, within just a few days. That's the beautiful part of this.
Are you looking eventually, and I say this because I was an 85-15, I was 85% commercial sales, 15% residential. As this business grows, do you have any plans in the near or distant future, whichever one, to jump into other arenas other than this? Because you are very niche based in the claims that you're going to deal with right now. Are you looking to expand that?
Yes, we absolutely are. But for us to be launching, we're only doing the HO3 policies right now. That is it. We would love to expand. We'd love to do it, but this is a startup. This is an exciting time for all of us to see how this works, how it feels, how it works for the clients. We want to be your partner in this, and we want to make sure we're doing the right thing for you as well as for ourselves.
And let's dumb this way down, okay? Because there are people that are going to have exposure to this webinar that are brand new restoration owners. They've seen the margins. They want to do this, but they know absolutely nothing about restoration in this process. It's going to be a trial by fire. Explain what an HO3 claim is for that layperson.
Stuart, do you want to go ahead and take this one?
Yes, the HO3 policy is your gold standard, let's say, across the country. It's that dwelling, our primary dwelling that we live in, okay? An HO6 is basically a townhome or something where you share a common wall with your neighbor, or there's an association involved, a condominium association. You don't technically own the walls, but a freestanding house, HO3 policy is the gold standard across the country for an insurance policy. If it's your primary dwelling, you live there, it's more likely an HO3 policy. And it's a pretty common thing to be able to see. A restoration professional can ask, to look at a copy. He can't really read the insurance policy, but you can see the HO3 quite clearly, generally on the declarations page on most policies provided to homeowners. HO3 is the gold standard when it comes to insurance claims inside homes.
Gotcha. So typically, just to make it easy for everyone, it is the typical homeowner's policy offered by big box carriers.
That is correct.
Okay. So what would be an exception to that, Melinda? What would be like it's a residential claim, but it wouldn't fall under an HO3?
We're not taking anything other than an HO3 right now.
Right, but
there are no exceptions to the.
What would constitute it not being an HO3 claim? Like it's a residential claim, but it's not going to fall under HO3 guidelines.
A condominium,
forced place policy, yeah.
Foreclosed house with a forced place policy. Older houses that are historic, let's say, those are different types of policies.
Okay.
Mobile homes. Yeah.
I tried to do zero mitigation on mobile homes, so it just throw it away and buy a new one. So
we'll get a little closer to those markets later, but in the beginning, we need to concentrate on the HO3s to see a process and an understanding. Everybody's level of knowledge is a little different out there.
Sure.
We want to make sure we have a good understanding for it, feel for it before we expand into those other areas. Water, fire, smoke, it's all possible, but we need to understand the level of it really depends on the individuals that we're dealing with and their level of understanding.
Right. Well, and like I said, it's, I didn't mean to try to dumb this down, but there are going to be people that are not going to understand, and they may be coming to you with all of these things that might not fall within those parameters. Again, the coaching, the education aspect will be there, but, I think that it's always good to be transparent rather than blindsided. And, so I appreciate you guys taking time out to do that. So let's talk a little bit about this slide, about the advantages. And, I think the biggest one that stands out is you guys are going to handle all the paperwork. You're going to invoice the carrier. You're going to assume all the risk of repayment. So, I'm not having to sit back here and go, you know what, they're not paying us. We may be dealing with a bad faith issue. That all falls on you.
Correct. We want to be the advantage. We want to give you the cash flow that you need when you need it. That's pretty much, the gist of this is. The more business that you provide us, the more funding we have the option to be able to provide you.
Okay, and are you guys doing this for big box carriers like your ServPro, Service Masters, all of these guys, Puricleans, ATIs, as well as independents?
If they're independently owned, yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
All right, and here's the make it easy. Who wants to take the lead on that one?
Stuart, do you want to go ahead?
Probably shortlist checklist information need to consider funding and insurance claim. I haven't seen the slide before, forgive me.
I can go ahead and take it. I can go ahead and take it.
If all the elements are there, your work authorizations that if all the elements are there, which most restorers understand, then it's going to be a very quick and simple process. Okay. Sometimes you encounter where there's missing elements, no logs or no work authorization. We need to work with those folks through that time frame, and obviously that affects that when we can cut that. When you can actually write that check. But for the most part, we can, if all those elements are there within a day, we're going to give you an answer. We're going to give you a price.
Fantastic.
Well, we may not give you a price, but we may come back with questions. There's that option as well.
Yeah. So I have a question from Gordon Brown. Is this on water losses only, or does this pertain to fire, mold, smoke remediation?
Water only. Water
only. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And so let's look. Next slide. Simple solution. So, and I think, nope, that's going to be the guidelines. So let's go back. So simple solution. I think you guys have reiterated this. I love the what are you waiting for? I think it is very self-explanatory. As a restoration provider, you're not a lawyer. So you don't know how to mediate with carriers unless you've been doing this for a very long time. Or if you have been doing it for a very long time, you may just be tired of the fight and tired of the game. And be able to take all of these HO3 claims and turn them over, get them off your desk, get the headache away, get paid immediately on these things. I think it really becomes very self-explanatory. So let's talk a little bit about the guidelines that are involved. Again, it's a case-by-case basis. It is not a contractual relationship that you guys are entering into, with the exception of each case-by-case. But let's talk a little bit about the guidelines.
We're not going to be looking at hurricane or FEMA, no groundwater, no stormwater, commercial, municipal and industrial facilities. At this time, we're not dealing with condos, townhomes, the same kind of genre, not dealing with forced place policies. That's when the homeowner stops making the payment and the mortgage company actually has to put a policy on there. And mobile homes, we're just not dealing with those types of claims right now.
Gotcha.
And please keep in mind, we also, once we're assessing them, we also have the right to decline your claim. So just, we also can say, no, thank you. This does not fit into our wheelhouse, and this is not a claim that we would like to buy, but we'd love to take a look at another.
Sure. All right. So basically, here's going to be the contact information if you're looking to get started. Not only could you reach out to me, and I'll get you pointed in the right direction with Stuart and Melinda, but also too, if you will go to their website, truewaterclaims.com, or you can text or call today. The phone number is area code 407-565-8482. And then email join@truewaterclaims.com. So that is kind of it. Is there any, I don't know if I'm going to check. I'm going to stop the share at this point to see if we do have any additional questions. If you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat box or be able to just ask right here. But it looks like that Gordon so far was the only one. I think that when we don't have questions, it's because you guys did such a fantastic job of explaining what it is. So we will send this recording out to all panelists as well as to all attendees, as well as the slide deck, so that you guys do have access to True Water Claims. And if you would like a one-on-one consultation with them, we will be sending them your contact information just to follow up with you to see if you guys had any additional questions that you chose not to answer or ask on this webinar. So leave this open for another 15 seconds or so to see if anybody else has any additional questions. And if not, then I want to thank Melinda and Stuart for taking time out of their day I think they have a tremendous service, but more importantly, they have a tremendous solution to an ongoing problem in restoration that haunts tons and tons of carriers on a daily basis. And that is cash flow and being able to stop having to argue. So any last thoughts for either one of you?
Stuart, you want to go ahead?
Phone call away. We're restoration professionals that are advocates for the restoration professional. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call us. We're looking forward to a long-lasting relationship with the restorer.
Fantastic. Melinda, what about you?
We're looking forward to working with you, and please give us a call.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I tell you what, I think this was the most efficient webinar I have ever done. They typically run well over an hour, but these guys know their stuff, very short and concise and to the point, and it just makes perfect sense. So guys, reach out to them, truewaterclaims.com. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day for attending, and hope you go make $1 million. Have a wonderful day.